My therapist believes that when you do mushrooms, you get visited by a plant spirit. I want to be more sure that when I say something, I actually mean it. And that can be really overwhelming to, like, have an opinion bubble up in my head and then have to, like, filter it through, like, okay, well, I've been on Earth for 39 years. Let me go through all the things that I've experienced and see if I still agree with what I'm about to say.
Yeah, because you said at one point that you're trying to figure out what you believe.
Yes. Trying to figure, like, my therapist believes that when you do mushrooms, you get visited by a plant spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're given information by this, like, sentient plant spirit being. I'm still trying to figure out if, like, I believe that interpretation or if I think it's just, like, a really powerful tool for, like, rebalancing chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't completely know where I stand. There are days where I'm like, whatever I saw, that shit happened. But what is true is that the self-pity is gone. Anxiety and depression are, like, so the way I think about it now is the generalized anxiety is gone. I used to just be anxious almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be too hard on myself. I have a habit of kind of being a little bit too hard on myself. But a lot of my behaviors, I think, were like me kind of dealing with that generalized anxiety.
It was a huge motivating factor for kind of anything you decided to do or not do, or
just how I showed up in all ways.
It was the thing propelling you through the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I have what I would consider acute anxieties, which I think is what normal people have.
Yeah, this situation is stressing me out because of X, Y, and Z.
Right. Like, yesterday, I was like, it was Sunday, and I was like, I want to learn how to chop up clips, but I also want to, like, fix this weed whacker that broke, but I also want to, like, take Birdie to the pool. Oh, fuck, I'm a little overwhelmed because there's a lot I want to do today. Mm-hmm. But I think that's what normal people deal with.
Yeah, and it doesn't then spiral into, I'm a fucking piece of shit loser.
Yeah, I'm a loser. Yeah. I'm just going to fucking doom scroll and, like, rip vape or whatever I'm going to do to cope.
Right.
Or eat 18 donuts.
Right.
Which is what I would have done.
Right. And it was your very first experience with mushrooms.
Yep. So, I keep getting stuff on my Instagram feed that's like, studies show, most powerful marketing tool ever, studies show, that taking psilocybin can, like, treat depression for multiple years. It's like, I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm off Lexapro after 16 years, and I don't want to hurt myself, and I'm showing up, and I'm, like, motivated, and going to the gym, and
the last time that you decided to wean off Lexapro, you slipped into a super dark, depressive state and had to go back on it?
Straight into panic attacks.
And then this time, after a series of ketamine sessions over many months, you weaned off again. And this time, the wean off itself was way easier. The
wean off was easier.
Not a breeze. You were getting the brain zaps.
Getting the zaps.
But
getting really tired.
You had to wean off in order to do the psilocybin experience. And then after the psilocybin experience, from my perspective, it seems like you have been doing pretty damn good.
I think I'm better than I was on Lexapro because now I have feelings. I fucking teared up multiple times last week. I went to a wedding last weekend and I teared up multiple times during the wedding.
That's amazing.
Which, like, I did not have access to those feelings at all, and I'm still embarrassed to, like, cry in public. I can't do that yet, but, like, I'm able to access those feelings and feel sadness, and, like, I can get, like, tears in my eyes and stuff without feeling, like, ashamed anymore, which is all a result of psychedelic therapy.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, and you've only done it one time, so I think these things build on each other, and in my experience, the there's like a through line every time, and it's like every time I've experienced it, it helps me make even more sense of the previous experiences. So it's almost like this compounding integration of the experiences.
Well, and I was talking to a friend Saturday. She's been on antidepressants for a long time. She's about to add another one, because you can like stack them, where you can like, you get this one and then you add Abilify and then you add this. And
Not too long ago, you were on weren't you on multiple SSRIs?
no, I've just been through a lot of them.
You were on multiple things though. Weren't you?
No.
No? Oh, okay, maybe I'm just confusing that with you switching them.
But
Yeah.
the thing that I was like telling her is, I was like, I don't know. That's another thing I don't know yet, which is I want to be careful about how to present this information, because I did spend 16 years working the steps and like developing some.
You've been doing some kind of therapy.
For a long time. And so it's like, over the last 9 months, I've had more progress than I have in 16 years, and it has been psychedelic assisted. But I don't want to just like come out and be like, if you're on antidepressants, you should just fucking do what I did and you'll be fine. Like, I also know that that's maybe not true. You
were never one to be like, I'm going to take antidepressants and never work on myself, and I'm just going to live my life on you've been in pursuit of how can you better yourself, even us joining forces to work on this company was you pushing yourself to do something that was outside of your comfort zone. I think you probably have an abnormally large amount of shit to deal with compared to most people. Yeah, not in like I got all this trauma, look at me, but like, now that I've looked around and met a lot of people, I do think that like the hand that I was dealt was particularly tough, but which makes it all the more, that makes it even tighter for people that had a different, it's like the fact that you could go from the things you experienced in your childhood to where you're at now is, I think, massively hopeful for everybody. Exactly. Right? Exactly. And that's why I think psychedelic therapy is going to be revolutionary. It's going to change a lot of people's, it is therapy on steroids. Yeah. It's the best way to put it. I think we talked about that before too, and it's which it's a good analogy, because if you've never worked out before, you don't just start taking steroids, right? Yeah. You probably should never take steroids, but let's just say you're going to take steroids. You don't go from like never going into the weight room to like, I'm going to take steroids, right? And so you've done a massive amount of therapy, and I would even consider AA it's a form of group therapy. But then you did a year of EMDR before doing ketamine, and then you did like multiple months of ketamine therapy before you did the first psilocybin session. So massive amounts of preparation, and you got good at doing therapy before you took. And I don't know if that much work is required. I just don't want to like come off the handle and be like, everyone should just fucking get some. Everybody who's intrigued should at least explore that intrigue and start looking at, like, proceed cautiously, and because these things obviously can be dangerous, right? If not done responsibly. The essential thing that people need is this belief that it's possible to overcome these things. If you don't think it's possible, then it's like the fucking Peter Pan hook. Yeah. You gotta believe, Peter. He's beginning to believe. You're believing. It's something like that. The cool thing is there's so much easily accessible information out there. So many books, audiobooks if you're not a good reader, so many podcasts, people talking about their experiences with this stuff. So like, if you're intrigued by the idea of using psychedelics for therapeutic purposes, you could get on the internet and find countless hours of information to kind of help you over the hump of like, is this even possible? Is it bullshit? You've gone from like highly skeptical. Yeah, I came from a community that's like
substances are not a thing, right? So it did seem too
AA,
good.
seemed
too good to be true.
Other than the founder of AA was a big proponent of psychedelics,
Big fan of
so then
LSD.
they kicked him out, right?
Then he just fucking went a little wild at the end there. But it's fucking like, the shit's real. And so I'm going to figure out how to continue to craft and hone that message and deliver it in a way where it hits people between the eyes, because I want as many people as possible that are even potentially open to this idea, or like that are fertile ground for a seed to be planted. There are tools out there that are inconceivably effective for helping with mental health.
And if you are a science-based person, you can look up countless studies.
MAPS does a great job
Right.
of explaining
that
a lot
confirms
of this.
that it's like insane success rates of soldiers with PTSD going down to Mexico or Peru doing ayahuasca or ibogaine and coming back and no longer having PTSD
I remember watching How to Change Your Mind on Netflix.
Yeah, that was kind of like maybe one of the seeds.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was sitting at my buddy Dave's house on his couch doing jack shit, ripping vape, and then just watching that and just being like, I mean, like, maybe it could work for me. You know, and it was just like, boop, door just got cracked open.
Yep.
And then from there, it was just like, so.
Fucking wild.
It's fucking wild. You want to go give some gummies to a prospect?
Yeah, let's do that.
Just a quick note, this show is supported by our main company, Chill Country Cannabis. Chill Country is our cannabis brand, and we make really delicious organic edibles from scratch right here in South Austin. They're as good as you can make a cannabis edible, and they are fully legal for now under the 2018 Federal Farm Bill. But you can find full details at chillcountry.com. And we have a special deal for anybody that listens to this show. Use code YNT at checkout, and you can try a 4-count bag of each of the 3 flavors and strains that we make for $20. YNT is the code at checkout, and go to chillcountry.com. You can get full details on the different strains that we make and how we make them and what's in them and all that.
So I guess maybe frame up what we're doing. We are just driving around.
We're driving around, going to all the stores that have hemp licenses and giving them sample cases so they can try the product out. I don't like putting a business owner in a situation where they have to spend money on something that might not work for them. I don't know why, but I really don't like doing that if I can help it. So,
well, it's just not good for them or us, right? Because if they're not going to sell, like if we forced that guy, or if we just like slammed him into buying a bunch of cases and then they didn't move, it's like that's not a
good experience.
It's not
for
thinking
anybody.
long term, right? Like we want retailers that are going to actually perform with our product.
So we're giving out cases to basically say, try it, see if it sells, and if it does, here's where you can buy it.
Yeah.
And I just really prefer that style of selling.
And it's super interesting to see what these places are selling, because there really is just a ton of trash hemp products out there.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's interesting because we've got the special session coming up where they are going to attempt to add regulations to the hemp industry. And we have no idea how heavy-handed those regulations are going to be. But we're in kind of a nice spot because it seems that even if they add heavy regulations to hemp, our gummies are still going to be compliant. And if the regulations are in line with what the House regulation bill was this past session, then we might be one of the only THC products that is currently in compliance and remains in compliance with the regulations passing, which means that a lot of that junk is going to get wiped off the shelf.
Yep.
And that's kind of the sales pitch, right? It's like these will very likely remain in compliance regardless of what happens. So
Kind of a different topic than the psychedelic fucking healing journey, but you know, not really, because cannabis is a mild psychedelic.
Cannabis is a mild psychedelic, and when used properly and responsibly, it can have profound healing
Which
benefits.
you just did.
I did, yeah. I experimented with like a microdose, essentially, of THC over the weekend. After several days of not using it at all, I was just kind of like in a somewhat down state, negative headspace, and that small amount was like just enough to put me back into a good mood. And then I didn't use any more, and I just woke up this morning and felt great. And now, you know, back on the tea break. It's really hard to do a little bit of something when you know that doing a lot of it is going to make you feel really, really good. But if you also know that doing a lot of it is going to make you feel really, really good in the near term, and then put you back into like kind of like a depleted state later, then it's a little bit easier to be like, all right, well, let's maybe do a little tiny amount and see if that just takes the edge off.
Do a little baby amount.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I'm continuing to experiment and figure out what my relationship with cannabis should be. Like since March, I've kind of been in this experimental state where I've been using it a lot less, and like having extended periods of not using it at all. Prior to that, I was using it more heavily. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the exact right relationship should be. But it seems to me like small amounts infrequently are probably the most effective for therapeutic purposes. It's not without its problems if you use it a lot and you use a lot of it frequently. There tends to be this narrative from from pro cannabis people that like it's a natural plant and there's absolutely no negative side effects at all.
Just do as much as you want.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. I remember hearing this in early AA where it was like, okay, nothing wrong with drinking every day. But the question you have to ask yourself is like, what's wrong with how you are when you don't drink? Why do you feel like you have to?
That is a question that will make you think.
That'll make you think.
It's like, yeah, I know. It's like I could quit whenever I want. It's like, all right,
we'll do it now.
Why? Because I like it. That is the response. That's the response you'll get from a lot of people that think they're totally fine using a substance every day.
What pops into my head as soon as I think of that is like really successful people that have been used in like marketing the idea that like you could just stay high all the time.
Oh, dude, I know. I think about that all the time. You got like Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson,
Seth.
Wait, who?
Rogan.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Oh, yeah, Seth Rogen. Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah, like there's all these people that like have are kind of like figures in pop culture where you look at them and you're like, oh, Willie Nelson's fine, and that motherfucker is used
He's all the time.
massive amounts of cannabis, all the whatever. It's like it's like part of his identity,
right?
Is that he smokes a massive amount of weed, or did. Apparently, he doesn't smoke anymore.
Really?
Yeah, dude, that motherfucker he's like 98,
He old.
99.
He old.
He's very old. The fact that he smoked so heavily into his 90s is miraculous.
That's incredible.
But the other thing you got to ask is like, oh man, what was it? I saw some clip of Bill Maher. I sent it to you. Mm-hmm. There's some clip where someone was like, he was defending cannabis and like how it's been such a powerful tool to help him with his creativity, and he credits a lot of his success to his relationship with cannabis. And the guest on his podcast was like, but you got to ask yourself, how much more successful might you have been without it? And it fucking, you can tell it hits him. He's like, yeah, you can tell that one. I think Because it's true. It's like, Willie Nelson is a abnormal human, right?
Yeah.
And as successful as he has been smoking weed all day, every day, his entire life, how much more successful, maybe not successful, professionally successful, I don't know if you could become more professionally successful than Willie Nelson, right? But that motherfucker has a lot of divorces.
Money problems.
Money problems. Forget to pay your taxes. It's just like how many problems could you have avoided, or just how much better could you have done your life?
There's also the narrative that I hear. I mean, I even believe it, where it's like, yeah, but like artists make better art.
I would say.
I mean, you're creative. What do you think about that?
I think that, so speaking from personal experience, I had an extremely traumatic ending to my first company, just piling trauma on top of other unresolved trauma that I didn't even really start tackling until very recently. And at the tail end of the last company is when I started working on Texas Hill Country Provisions, and I started by just designing stuff, right? And so I was in a very not great mental state. And cannabis was this amazing thing that allowed me to kind of push all of the worry out of my mind and just sit there with a sketch pad and draw shit. And it was almost like an ADD med of sorts, where it allowed me to focus on designing and like actually slip into that creative flow state. But it's not as necessary for me to do that type of work now, because I think resolved a lot of the issues that I was wrestling with at that time in like early 2020.
So gun to the head, I'm like, you need to make 3 new hat designs for fall. You gonna do it sober, or are you gonna do it with weed?
I would say at this point, what I would do is probably mostly sober. Probably it depends on if you consider coffee sober.
I do.
Okay, sweet. So then mostly sober. I would probably do it in the morning when I'm fresh, and I'd crush coffee, and I'd sketch, and I'd digital design, and then I would probably have some strategic evenings where I would use cannabis just to kind of like look at things from a different perspective. But I would say that would be it would be much more of like a strategic tool now than like this necessary thing. Like my head was so fucked in early 2020 that without cannabis I never could have sat down and focused on it, because there were so many worries and concerns, and like just
Do you think that cannabis is like your version of Alexa Pro?
Totally. It's like an alternative. It's a little different though, because it really does provide me with this ability to see things from an alternative perspective. It's like strategic problem solving, or if like I'm just stuck on something. Really, if I'm like seeing things from a negative lens, it can like flip that, and I can like start seeing it from a positive lens, which I guess you could say Alexa Pro would do too. The thing that I just really like about cannabis versus all of the other things that I've ever tried is that, one, it doesn't feel nearly as addicting as a lot of the other things that I've tried. It feels like it's easier for me to like just take it or leave it. Like I could even back when I felt like I needed it more, I could be like heavily using it for a while and then just cold turkey, and it's not like it doesn't just wreck me. And it just provides me with an alternative perspective that I haven't found anything like it. It just makes me introspective and puts me in like a contemplative state. a lot of people listening to this would be like, fucking pussy, you're talking about weed? You know, like it's like this like this thing that you gotta like be really careful about it, man, because it has such like it's been so downplayed.
Yeah,
like
it's
the negatives
so
have been
safe.
so downplayed, but there are fucking negatives. You shouldn't be living your life intoxicated. You should be living your life sober, and then if you're going to use an intoxicant, it should be used strategically to.
Yeah, anything else just seems really unsustainable.
It's totally unsustainable, and really, like at this point, it's, I don't know. I think about this a lot because like it's been such like a changing experience over the years, and in early 2020, it's like my head was already so confused and foggy, sober, that cannabis didn't fog up my brain. It actually gave me like immense clarity. Whereas now, I actually sober. I have a whole lot of clarity, so when I use cannabis, it makes me foggy.
Right.
You know, so it almost like flipped on itself.
Yeah, that's weird.
But even though it makes me foggy, it does give me new perspective, so it's helpful in certain situations to use it, get the perspective, and then get back to like the clean-headed space. But if your sober state is foggy, then it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. But this is also on top of having like some intense psychedelic experiences. I'm contemplating like, do I even need it at all? And then there's days like yesterday where it's like I was in such like a funk, and we were having people over, and it was going to be like
that's the best tool that you had at your disposal.
It was like, well, I could just drink alcohol like everybody else at this barbecue.
Yeah, that's why I said best tool.
Yeah, and it was for sure the best tool to like pull me.
The reason I ask about that is because AA talks about the spiritual toolkit. And so I'm thinking, like in my head, what I'm thinking about is like, cannabis is a tool that you have access to.
Yeah.
And if you see it that way and keep it in the right place,
yes,
then it's fine. Like, I think about the tools that I have, that I use in those sort of situations, and I wouldn't say they're like necessarily as immediate or effective, but it's just a different path where it's like, I'll pray or I'll call somebody else and like talk through whatever I'm fucking frustrated with, or whatever. Like,
totally.
Those are other tools, and you just have to like decide what tool's the right one for the job.
Yeah, and yesterday was an interesting example because it was probably like day 4 of not using any cannabis at all, and I was just like, I just was not in a good, where you just, everything you look at, you're just kind of like seeing the negative. And it's like, and now at least when I'm in that headspace, it's like I know that that's not reality. So it's like have the observer mind. But it doesn't mean, just because I know it doesn't mean I can pull myself out of it. And so like I was all day, it's like I fucking did yard work, and I have got a yoga mat set up in my little office, and I just fucking sat there and meditated. I was reading some philosophy. I was reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosophy. And there was a line, it was in book 1, where he's going through, he's basically giving credit to everybody in his life who's taught him things, and like he's like, and my dad, and who taught me blah 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 blah. And I think it was his dad he was talking about. I can't remember exactly the way it was phrased, but it was essentially like, he is a man who can abstain from things and also enjoy things without overindulging. It was like a very interesting, and that just like stuck in my head, and I was still like set on like I'm not gonna cave. And then we had we always do steak Sunday. We had an abnormal steak Sunday where we invited several people over. And before people were getting there, I was just like, I'm going to be miserable. Like, I can't, this headspace is going, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And
you're like going to cause more harm.
I was like, all right, I'm just going to do a tiny amount and see if that just like fucking, tweaks. And it completely pulled me out of it. I did a lot less than I normally would have done. and it just put me in a good mood, and it made me talkative and social, and it ended up being like a really enjoyable evening. And then I didn't do any more, and I just went to sleep, and I woke up and I feel fine and clear-headed and not foggy. And I fucking say it all the time, like the amount, and like you got to get the dose right. Fucking idiot. It's almost like it's not a discipline thing, it's a perspective thing. And the perspective that led me to doing a tiny amount last night was like, well, I know if I do a lot, then I'm going to be foggy headed tomorrow, and it's probably just going to delay this negative feeling. I'm just going to pass it into tomorrow. So maybe if I do a little bit, maybe and that fucking worked. So here we are.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually fucking amazing. So,
Yeah.
more will be revealed.
Yeah. All right. It's always quite the experience going door to door. We're hitting the convenience store style shops.
Yes.
And the smoke shops.
And like the
And
neighborhood ones.
It's very, very interesting. The most interesting thing to me is how many ridiculous, terrible products are currently on the shelves. That is where Dan Patrick is correct. That we do need to get some of this junk. They're selling, pretty much every one of these shops that we've gone into is selling, it's like the Delta 8 of psilocybin. So it's like some sort of weird, like lab manipulated derivative of psilocybin.
Kind of cut off.
Am I?
Yeah, a little bit. What I'm trying to understand, because I'm mostly curious about the economics of like how these sorts of things work. Where it's like, okay, you and I are driving around. That's obviously not the business model. But let's say you hire a bunch of people to go fucking do this job. It's like, are these the type of products where you can send someone once and then they don't have to go back anymore?
I mean, it's a weird conversation to have on the podcast because there's a lot of layers to this and there's a lot of like information that we've only figured out recently. So it's like I'm trying to balance having a normal conversation with you while
taking into account that people would hear this,
making sure that people have enough context to what's going on. So like, I guess So
let's explain it to ourselves so that we actually understand what we're doing.
There are these alternative product wholesalers, and they're basically these giant warehouses filled with all sorts of what they refer to as alternative products. It's nicotine, it is
THC,
hemp products, it is
kratom,
it is the weird gas station drugs that you've never heard of before.
Black Rhino,
some sort of weird psilocybin derivative.
Dick pills.
All
the best things about society.
So like, obviously a big part of me is sketched out by and wants nothing to do with that whole industry, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we make these THC gummies, and that is currently where the biggest distribution for these products are. Our initial strategy was pharmacies and health food stores and coffee shops, right? Which is still a part of our strategy, but then also it's like, well, where are people buying products like ours? Because there's so many sketchy products out there, it's like, well, at least get our products in the mix so that people have an option for a better quality, clean product. But it's fucking weird, dude. Like, I'd rather sell like Sprouts, right? Yeah. I don't think they're selling this stuff yet, are they?
They are not.
Wheatsville is, though. There's
Yep,
Wheatsville.
Wheatsville carries it.
But yeah, so anyway, okay, so there's these giant wholesale distributors, and what's crazy is there's multiple in Austin, and then there's a bunch like all around the state, and then it's the same thing in every other state. So every gas station that you've ever been in, you know, they carry 50,000 SKUs.
Yeah.
They're not buying those from the individual companies, which
it would be too much to manage.
So
especially for how small their POs are.
So these distributors will buy in bulk from brands like ours, keep them in their warehouse, and then the owners or buyers of these C-stores go to these big warehouses.
Think of it as like a business-to-business Costco, but for alternative products.
And they're literally going with shopping carts to like load up
Yep.
on product, right? So
Same way you go to Costco. They're doing that, but for vapes and fucking pens and
vapes,
gummies and shit.
and there's like alternative product conventions and like trade shows,
Yep.
right?
Big ones.
Which, like, man, it is not a world that I want to be like deeply embedded in, right? If it's a means of distribution for a product that we're super proud of and think is beneficial to distribute far and wide.
Counterpoint. Everybody we've met today, so what's weird about these stores we went into is that the owner is almost always there.
We, of how many stores did we go to? Like 8?
Yeah.
And 7 of them we got to talk to the owner.
And the owner is just a great person that's trying to fucking make it in America.
Yeah.
Doing whatever they can. And for whatever reason, a lot of them, this is the best shot they had.
But one thing that's super interesting, every single time I've gone with you door to door, my mind is always blown about how nice everybody is. Because my gut would tell me, like, oh, they're going to be fucking annoyed that we're, like, salespeople prospecting, right? But they're always super friendly and receptive. So that's a really nice takeaway from this kind of thing. And it's also just from like just absorbing data, market research, right? Like, because we're still, I think the other important context is we figured out how to make really, really good quality organic cannabis gummies. It's this emerging market, and by emerging, I mean like the market isn't established, it doesn't really exist yet. It's like so many things are up in the air with, like, you know, we're selling these gummies at coffee shops and yoga studios and grocery stores and pharmacies and convenience stores and vape shops, and like, because
it's in so many verticals, it's like what is this?
And then on top of that, you have the regulations and the legislation trying to ban it, and the uncertainty of like what regulations might be coming down the pipe.
But isn't that weird that the go-to-market strategy is so confusing?
Yeah, there is no go-to-market strategy. There's not like a clear go-to-market strategy like there is for, you know, if we were making an energy drink. Well, and the other thing that makes it difficult is we are in so many different verticals, and if you look at the sales data,
there's no clear winner.
There's no clear winner.
People buying this shit everywhere.
And it's like, you know, Chris.
It's Christopher!
Christopher!
Hey, bitch!
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Good, just getting back from being out for a couple of days. Wanted to catch up with you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Think I was trying to ignore you.
Oh, no. It's fucking great, man. You got Chris and Madison both in the car. You're on speakers, so you get both of us today.
What's up, dude?
Hell yeah. What's up, homie?
Oh, we're just getting done with a little door-to-door sales action.
Yeah,
we decided to go hit a couple stores and do a little prospecting, drop off some samples.
Nothing like getting in the car and doing it old school, you know?
Old school, dude. You have full control over the fucking top of the funnel.
It's more like market research, I'd say. We did some real sales, but it's just interesting because we were just talking about how this product we make is in this market that it's so unestablished.
So what's the word on the special session and any of that?
I'm not sure if you know exactly how it all went down, but the Senate wrote SB3, which was intended to ban everything. And then once SB3 passed the Senate and went to the House committee, that hearing was awesome, and they actually like listened and absorbed all of the critical feedback from all the testimonies, and then they went back and completely rewrote SB3 into a regulation bill and turned it into like a 120-page regulation bill. And then at the very last minute, there was an amendment submitted that completely reverted it back to the original language.
Yeah, I saw that.
What we're hearing is the 120-page regulation bill is going to be what they use as a starting point in the special session to set regulations. From our reading of that bill, our product would be totally within the regulations, but it would cause trouble for the vast majority of the hemp companies and the products that they make. So the big question, I just don't know how this plays out, because one of the big points Abbott made was we can't just shut down all these businesses. But if they pass really stringent regulations, it's essentially going to kill 90% of the market anyway. Whether they leave the regulations loose or pass tighter regulations, because of the way we make the gummies, they're probably going to be fine. It's such a complicated issue that there's also a chance that it's just a stalemate and nothing happens and it's just business as usual. The fact that we got the veto, that took a little bit of pressure off us, and now it's kind of like, well,
tell us the rules and we'll fucking do it.
And at this point, I can't imagine that they would pass something so strict that we wouldn't be able to make the gummies. So we're just kind of proceeding business as usual and trying to continue to get distro for the 3 gummies. But let's assume that the special session goes well and they pass good regulations that just give us all clarity. Then it's totally off to the races. The big players that are kind of been like nervous about entering the space or entering certain product categories, all of a sudden have a lot of confidence because now there's clear regulations. And if it's like something where TABC controls all of it and these products are only sold in liquor stores, then every single liquor store in the state of Texas is going to sell these products. It's just a matter of time. It's like we're in like a weird kind of holding pattern right now.
We're pretty close to the end though, of clarity. So, but yeah, beverages are on hold until more clarity, obviously.
Yeah, as soon as we have full regulatory clarity, then it's going to give us clarity on our product roadmap and like what we make next.
Because if we're going to do what we want to do, we're going to have gummies and we're going to have a beverage and we're going to have fucking flour if pop. Like, we'll build out all that, but we need to know what the fuck the rules are.
I'll just keep selling in the meantime.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Well, one day at a time.
Yep.
Well, thanks for hitting me back up. Yeah, no, we're just biding our time and selling as much as we can.
Okay. Well, if there's anything you need help with, let me know.
All right, dude. Thank you so much.
Your t-shirt business, your apparel is fucking blowing up, dude. Everywhere I go, it's every time I'm in the airport, it's like 4 or 5 people at least.
Fuck yeah.
Goddamn right. Wait till you see this shit this fall, dude. It's about to get fucking wild.
And we're switching to 100% cotton tees, getting all the plastic out of our fabric.
You tell me I'm leaching shit into my skin right now? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, dude, it's lowering your fucking
your T count, dude, and your fucking...
My T? I switched to cotton underwear for that, okay?
Yeah,
now you're telling me...
That's why your scrotum looks like a shaved gerbil.
It's interfering your energetic field. Your aura is all fucked up now.
Yeah. I need to come hang, man. I haven't hung with you guys in a while.
Yeah,
come on out.
Anytime, brother. All right, Chris, have a great night, man.
All right, man. Y'all say cheers.
Later, dude. All right, I think the podcast is over. Bye-bye.